I would like to preface this next video, this segment from Monday Mornings with Tomato. Everything that I'm about to tell you is a mixture of all of the things that you're going to see on screen. I'm not going to like bring up anything that's not going to have your own eyeballs on it, and my own personal speculation and or reading into this stuff. Okay, this isn't like I don't have any sort of telephone into CIG about what is going on or not, but this is just a couple things I've noticed, and possibly why it could be happening. So again, this is not like a news video, even if it does say news up there. Okay, it said news in the thumbnail. There is some news, but there's also a whole bunch of opinion here. Okay, please don't take what I say and like pretend it's a fact or tell anybody else it is or anything like that. Now, CIG's been making some changes here and there in terms of their company size and everything that we've seen. We'll be talking about this in the next segment here in a second, just in terms of like employees, how many people are there, what's going on with that headcount. And we have seen some people leaving over the last year or so. And this generally has been because of their move to Manchester. It's also, I think, some of the shifting priorities they have. But what we have here is two employees who were big parts of the server meshing team. Like these people deserve a lot of love, I think, for helping get this into the hands of players and making the actual game we're playing right now. Making the actual game that we are playing a bit right now possible. So this is a network programmer who was on the server meshing team, I believe, and he worked at CIG for 4 years, probably starting around when they were getting into the development in 2020. He has now moved over to CCP Games to work on Eve. Obviously, they were like, hey, that looks like it might actually be working. You guys think you can come and make that happen here? Now, that's, again, speculation. I do not know if that's actually what they're doing for Eve, but I do think that it is very, very unique timing from a company that is doing things very, very similar to Star Citizen. Many of you know Eve. It's not exactly the same kind of game, but they have their own way of handling large-scale player groupings, and maybe they're looking for some alternatives or to do some work, or maybe just to improve it. And they've seen what these people have done and they like it. Now, I don't think, well, we'll continue on from here. He is not the only person from the server meshing team who has left the company in the last week or two. Ivan C. has also departed, and he actually made a post here about it. He said, "Today is my final day at Cloud Imperium Games, and what an absolute honor and privilege it has been to be a part of this amazing project and get to work with so many talented people on Star Engine over the past 3 years." Again, same kind of time period, 2021 to now. Y'all are making something truly special, and I'm proud to have been some small part of it. This also marks one of my last days in the UK. After 13 years here, it's about time to go out there and explore a little. Now, I'll say this. You're no small part of it, Ivan. Again, thank you guys for making this possible. Ivan was a tech producer out of the Manchester office, also has left CIG and is going to CCP Games, probably to work on Eve. Actually, he literally said he'll be joining CCP as technical producer for Eve Frontier. Let's see. Eve Frontier is a hardcore space survival MMO set in a galaxy filled with thousands of star systems, a massive online sandbox. Is this a FPS? Have you guys heard about this? Closed alpha is available now. Upgrade your ship. Chart your ship through 100,000 unique star systems. Build orbital bases to secure your foothold and establish your influence throughout the galaxy. Deploy defenses, trading posts, structures, and hangars, each customizable through a configurable layer. The Frontier is death incarnate. Everything in it wants to kill you. Forge alliances or stand alone in a single-driven sandbox where your actions can become legend. Huh! Harvest the Frontier's lifeblood, crude matter from rifts that appear dynamically throughout the galaxy. So this is... I'm not sure of all the details here, but it sounds like an FPS MMO coming from CCP. and it's space exploration with spaceships and customization, and they're hiring some of the server meshing devs from CIG now. People will talk nonstop about how much money CIG makes, but it's a competitive market, and keeping these people around to work on this kind of tech is obviously difficult when people really want this tech. And as much as people like to say, CIG has gotten out ahead on it. It doesn't mean they're alone. There are some other companies that have been working on this kind of stuff. We've talked about a couple in the past. We'll touch on some more. But in general, oh, they moved out to Iceland. Oh, no, he was already in Iceland. In general, there's going to be a lot of demand for people who know how to handle, I guess, synchronous loading in video games over the next several years. We talked about how Rockstar is working on their version of this. I think there's something called Quark, and this is basically Quark Engine. Yeah, so this is also supposed to be hosting tens of thousands of players in an environment that's kind of like server meshing. We won't get too deep into this. This is about the devs at CIG, but I'm just trying to give you a sense of how big the scale of possibilities is around this technology, and many people have already recognized it. Epic also has their own version that they have going on, an Unreal Engine, and there are a few other companies. So this isn't some like vaporware tech anymore. It's valuable. The people who have worked on it have some valuable knowledge, and these aren't the first departures from the team that we've seen either. Earlier in the year, Roger Godfrey, actually, who has been on a lot of videos talking about it and is kind of a big part of the server meshing team, also had left, and he left a message as well. He said, Cloud Imperium has released 4.0 to live with server meshing tech. It's a major milestone, truly something amazing to celebrate. As it happens, I joined CIG specifically to build the core tech group and deliver server meshing. The core tech group is now thriving. It is now a thriving environment for some of the best technology engineers in the industry. After we rebooted it as a program in late 2020, it is now in player hands. It genuinely is a great time to be the lead producer of core tech group of Cloud Imperium Games, and that is why I have just left. It is time for a new adventure. But before that, I am going to take some time away to be with my family and work on some of my own personal projects. Very cool. A little self-indulgent, but I would also like to call out a few people at CIG who were pivotal in my time. Chris Roberts, the only boss I've ever had who cares about coffee as much as I do. Aaron Roberts, thanks for allowing Core Tech Group the space and resources it needed to become the thriving entity it is today. Benoit, bonjour. Thanks for always having a perspective I had not considered. Also, thanks for the conversations on weird 80s and 90s OS and processor architectures. Jared Huckabee, thanks for much needed non-work conversations and our shared love of Airwolf, Blue Thunder, Muppet, Star Trek, D&D. And the Core Tech producers. That's literally these people right here. And more. It's not just them. You are all awesome. Being agile is just the start of the journey. The Core Tech engineers. Oh, wait. Maybe they would have been he's a producer. He's an engineer. Okay. So that was this guy. Now this is this guy. There was not a day at CIG where I did not see something new and awesome on our engineer's screen. On an engineer screen. Thanks for engaging with myself and the other producers as we wrestled our development processes into submission to support you all. The server meshing strike team. Genuinely, I think this is the most enjoyable project I have worked on 30 years. A real moonshot. I am sure there are many folks who had little to no involvement who now want to take credit for this. Now it is a success. It was a great working with you all through the good times and the bad. I think that second to last sentence is like kind of telling. Don't necessarily know where it's directed. I am sure that there are many folks who had little to no involvement who now want to take credit for this. Now it is a success. Who knows if that is meant for internal or external of the company. But I do know that CIG has a lot of people, a lot of teams, and a lot of things going on. And it's always possible that the story is not always straightforward as to how server meshing came to be at Cloud Imperium Games. It is also possible, though, that this is an acknowledgement of just how much server meshing is possibly going to become a focus in gaming, not just in MMOs, in regular multiplayer games, in even single-player games that maybe want to do more stuff with the cloud. We could be looking at something extraordinary here. And I think that the fact that these people Oh, my camera's gone. Oh, well. I think the fact that these people are getting picked up to try and work on it elsewhere is a sign of that. Now, I don't think this is necessarily bad. I think there's a real good chance that they have just finished a sprint on their team, getting things up to a certain standard, getting the team up to a certain standard. And maybe they have in some ways solidified the performance of server meshing up to a point where they feel like they can move on. Okay, and the camera's back. I don't know, maybe it's overheating. This camera is utterly ridiculous. I really regret getting this thing. That's really most of the update I had here. Obviously, these are not the only people who have left Cloud Imperium Games over the last few months. We've also seen Chad McKinney leave after 9 years with CIG. He did a lot of gameplay stuff. He is moving on to Blizzard to work on one of their games as a senior gameplay person. So, like, again, these people are, they're not invaluable devs. CIG is made up of a lot of people with talent and good knowledge. And I think it's worth noting that even during these times when we're seeing them leave, like, remember, they did good work. And I think the game that we have right now is in large part due to people like this. And I hope that they have a good future endeavor. Eric Kyron Davis also left earlier this year. We know about this, but he also has a pretty big backlog of games that he has helped to work on. And he was really kind of the people person at CIG, helped to get people where they needed to go or where they were needed in the company. I don't know where he has moved on to, but these last two aren't related to server meshing. These are just two gameplay folks. These first three people, these are server meshing MVPs. And I think we have a lot of thanks to give to them for the game, the way it's working right now. But obviously, there's still a lot of work to do. And dynamic server meshing is nowhere to be seen. And we have not been, they've not shared really anything about it. So on one hand, I am very grateful for the work they've done and where we are now. On the other hand, I don't think it is a time to slow down on server meshing, even if we are focusing on content and playability. So I hope that we get to see something about dynamic server meshing, or at least continued work on server meshing in the near future. As I pulled up just a bit ago, we can see that some of the populations of server numbers are going up and down over time. So it's possible that they're dropping things in, testing out higher populations, and then dropping them back down. We really don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. I just hope we get an update on that soon. I think that's what's important. Making sure that server meshing allows the game to breathe and expand more, and keeping the game playable. Those are the two most important things I think right now. There's your update. A couple CIG devs have left the server meshing team. I don't think there's anything really to take of it other than that clearly the team is proud of what they've put together, and other companies recognize that it's valuable information, and so they're trying to pick them up. And I guess let's hope for another update soon. But thanks for coming to another segment of Monday Mornings with Tomato.